All right, morning everybody. So session 8 out of 10, still got lots to go. So I thought I'll go through some more recruitment practices with you guys and some business etiquette. And that's what the whole week's for. So just to confirm, we had our sessions out. Now what I've done is, today's session, I was supposed to go through benefits, pensions, tax as well. However, it's just too much to put in a 2-hour session, so I've moved it over to Friday. Hopefully we can cover it there because there was a lot to cover today, and I didn't want to shorten anything to not give you the quality that we can potentially produce for you. So today we're going to go through contracts and negotiations, wages in the UK. I'm just going to give you a little brief summary of modern slavery. There's not much I can tell you guys, but just enough to let you guys know how it works in the UK. I'm hoping I can give you some interview techniques and some potential responses. We can talk together about that, see how we can respond well to certain questions they might ask in the UK, or even like Canada, USA, if you're looking for anywhere else, but predominantly the most generic questions that are asked. And I want to go through a quick covering letter with you guys as well. So that's the plan. So in the UK, we have different types of contracts that you can get. And you need to make sure you get the right contract, especially if you're overseas. You don't want to get a contract that you potentially can't get indefinite leave to remain on or PR on because it's just not enough time or it's in the wrong tier. So you need to make sure that when you do secure a job, you check the contract to state what's on it. So the types of contracts that we do in the UK, there's no particular order. I'm just putting them wherever they go. First one we've got is a fixed term contract. That is where you get a job and they treat you the same. You get the same privileges as a full-time permanent staff member, but it's fixed term in the fact that they would just give it to you for a certain amount of time. So they might give it for 6 months, they might give it for 9 months, they might give it for 12 months. For example, at this current moment, if you know about the healthcare assistant worker, the 6145, they are doing it for up to 12 months. So if you did look for a job there and you managed to get a job on the care assistant worker visa, which came out yesterday, you might have a fixed term contract. So if you do secure a job, check how long it's for, because some of them might give you for up to 12 months, some might give for 12, some might give it for less. And that may detriment you actually trying to take the job or not. So always check the contracts. But with a fixed term contract, you do get the same privileges, like I said, as a permanent full-time member of staff. This type of contract tells you about certain things that you need to do within this fixed term contract. So they have a set of tasks for you guys to do. You ain't classed really as an employee in the contract. You can be classed as an agency worker but still working for the company. So you might be classed as an employee for the company or an agency worker for that company. So even though it's directly through them, okay? So that's your first one you have. The next one is your normal contracts that you would get. You'd either get a full-time contract or a part-time contract, and it's for an indefinite period of time. So there is no end date on that. Now, normally a part-time contract can be anything. Normally they give you 16 hours. They give this a lot if you're a student, like 20-hour contracts, with the flexibility of doing overtime and working extra as well. A full-time contract is actually classed from anything from 30 hours plus. It's normally between 30 hours to 40 hours that you can get. They won't go over 40 hours, but like we mentioned a couple of days ago, you can opt out if you're doing more than 48 hours, but they can't legally put that. They can't put down you've got a 50-hour contract, unless it's something like HGV driving or long distance driving where you need the extra time to do that, and they will make you do the opt-out form because certain regulations allows you to work extra depending on the industry you work for. So this one you get a lot of proper privileges, contracts, and benefits with your work really. The next one is an agency contract or temporary employment contract. That's like, we're a recruitment agency. We give agency contracts. Agency contract can hire temporary staff to meet the needs, like urgent needs of certain industry demands, such as covering for Christmas. There's a high member of staff going over and we need to cover that quickly. Agency contracts work differently in the fact that you might be given fixed term time if they need you for a certain amount of time. You might be just giving shifts as and when required. Predominantly it's as and when required, unless the client tells us that they want you permanently, then we will put you on a contract. You do not get the same rights as a normal worker, like a normal contract worker, until 8 weeks later. So if you've been with the agency and you've been doing continuous works with the agency for 8 weeks, you will get the same legal rights as a full-time and permanent worker. That's how it works. There is pros to having agency work as well, in the fact that if it's a second job or getting your foot in the door with a new business, if it's very flexible. You get to choose what hours you want to work, when you want to work, and how you work. You'll still be entitled to annual leave in that, and time in lieu, and getting paid at the right amount. So it's not that you don't get paid right, it's just that it's a contract based. Agency contracts can lead into permanent jobs with a client as well. The next one you have is a 0-hour contract. Now in the UK we call it 0-hour contract. You might also know it as relief work and bank work. So do you know when you look on these UK sites such as Indeed or monster.co.uk or Fish for Jobs, you might see something as a bank support worker. That doesn't mean that you're going to have a job in the bank. That means that you can be on the bank, you'll be in a pool. It's known as a bank, a pool is. You'll be in there and be used as a when. So it works the same as an agency contract, but your contract is actually directly with the client as opposed to being with an agency. So you can have work directly with them. They do pay slightly less than an agency contract worker, but you are there if you want to do that. A lot of companies do it, but some companies do not agree with it. Reasons why I don't know, because I don't see it as an issue, but some companies would not do bank support work. And then you have your self-employed contracts. There's two ways of doing this. One, you can register yourself on a business, which I'll go through on Friday, and put yourself out as a consultant or self-employment business. Two, you can go to a company and they can say to you, can you be self-employed with us? Like they would ask you to be self-employed. This can work with stuff like delivery driving. They might not want you on their books and you will be self-employed. And they will ask you, you would have to do your own tax and pay your own national insurance contributions, and you would be entitled to everything. You would get a contract. It'd be more like a terms and conditions. And they can end it at any time because it's self-employed. There is no end date to that because you are in control of your own contract. Also, with being self-employed, it goes on your personality and your characteristics. So if you do the job really, really well, hopefully they will give you more work to do. If you don't do the job well, they can get rid of you because there is nothing to state that they need to continue keeping you. But the good thing is you are your own boss. Another one is an internship employment contract. Now this is more for voluntary work or a worker of an employee. It's regular work that you can do. In regards to the immigration system, it will be the tier 5, the work that the tier 5, which is not a PR route. It's just to give you guys voluntary work in the UK and exposure to get hands-on experience really. They still pay you, you're entitled to either minimum wage, or if it's voluntary, there is no pay towards it. They might give you other perks to it. A lot of students go on this and a lot of new people into the industry as part of the higher education courses. Like I said, there is no wage in it. So if you do get an internship for the UK, which can be done, check the terms and conditions to see if you want to come to the UK and on a tier 5 route and gain UK exposure. and you have an apprentice agreement contract. This is where you can work and study at the same time. It's more recognised in the UK because you have to have a UK job and you study it as well alongside it. With this, your minimum wage is anything from £4.30 upwards. So they don't need to pay the full amount because they are teaching you a brand new course. So it could be in recruitment, it could be in electrician, health and social care. But after some time, after 12 months, they will give you at least the minimum wage or whatever rate they want. They don't need to start you on £4.30, they can start you on higher depending on what attributes you can bring to it. And apprenticeships is usually before anybody from the age of 16 plus. Usually between 16 and 19 get it more, but if you are more of a mature student and you're thinking, I'm going to a new industry, I don't care about the money too much, I just need to get my hands-on experience, then apprenticeship agreement contracts are the way forward. Now in the UK, England and Wales do fully funded contracts for apprenticeships, but you have to have been living in the UK for at least 3 years. If you haven't been living in the UK for 3 years and you want to do it, it will be a paid thing, just like studying, but it wouldn't be as intense as study. Like you won't be paying like 25,000 to do it. It'd either be the employer will pay for it or you will part pay for it. They will do something but it's a lot cheaper because you are working for most of it as well. So they might put an agreement in place for you. They are the types of contracts you have. Is there any questions that anybody want to ask about the types of contracts that they want me to clarify? Or are you okay with that? So we're not going to talk about self-employment one because at this moment you guys are looking to come to the UK either through studying or through the tier skilled worker visa. So the self-employment one won't count for that. Internships, I'm not going to discuss because that's not what you guys want to look for either. You don't want a 0-hour contract because you would not meet the criteria for a tier 2. And you don't want an apprentice from overseas either because you would not survive on £4.30. If you're a dependent coming in the UK, then you can look into these things. Agency contract for a skilled worker visa. Agencies like Harsha mentioned, we don't directly give the jobs. The job is for the client. So even if we found a job for you guys as a sponsored worker and they wanted you permanently, the initial contract would actually be with the client, not with us. They would tell us that they want you, and then we'd be put out and you would get the either full-time contract or the fixed-term contract. Normally people do agency contracts and the 0-hour contracts as a second job or with studies. Like I said, it's more flexible and it works around you. And like I said, the internship is to gain UK exposure. It could be paid or unpaid. So that's what you are working towards. Your full-time, your part-time, which you might not still be eligible, but more full-time, and your fixed-term contracts. Is everybody clear about that, or does anybody want any clarification on anything regarding the types of contracts you can get in the UK? No, that's a good sign for me. That means I've explained it correctly. So in the UK, when you get approved for a job, by law, we have to issue you 2 documents. One's a written statement of particulars, and the other one is a contract of employment. Have any of you heard of any of these terms or know the difference between the 2 terms? I don't know if you use the same in Kenya. We issue 2 documents. Does anybody know the difference? Do you get one contract in Kenya? Do you get any contract in Kenya?
Yes, that's your working contract.
You get one contract. And do you get that at the beginning of you starting work, or when do you get that, if you ever do?
Yeah, from when you join the company, when you're confirmed. Yeah, so that from the experience may have, it could be different from different companies.
Perfect. So do you normally get it on the first day you start or just before?
Just from where I work, get it a week after you start.
a week after. You're lucky you even got one. Some people don't even give you at all.
Yeah.
So like with me, I would never start any job in the UK without something in writing, because if you haven't got it in writing and you get it later on, they could change things. And there's something known as a psychological contract, which is a verbal thing that you can do in the UK, and it still stands in the court of law. So if you ever have a contract with somebody verbally, you can't prove it, but verbally, if you like agreed something, you can have that contract, and it's known as a psychological contract. But have it all in writing all the time. Never go to a job without anything in writing in the UK, just so you got your backup, because you just don't want anybody to mess you around. Not saying that they will, but some new companies or some companies that don't know the rules do that. Now, there's two things that you would need to obtain. This is from anybody. It could be with your clients or with an agency. The first thing is the statement of particulars. You would get that either before you start job or on the day you start. If you have not received that in the UK before you start or on your first day, ask them for it, because by law, they have to give you this. It's known as a principal statement or a statement of particulars. It's commonplace for anybody after June 2020. It was there before we had to issue within 8 weeks. Now it's within 1 day. Another one is a contract of employment. You would get your contract of employment within 2 months of your start date. If you do not receive your contract within 8 weeks, please chase HR up or get that, because that is very important, because it tells you everything in detail. So the written statement, the one that you get the beforehand or on the day, is you'll get a confirmation letter saying congratulations, like congratulations Olivia, you secured a job as a lab technician in the UK. Your starting salary is £45,000 and we are looking to start you on this 1st of October. As long as you have satisfied our references, they would state this in your offer letter, and they will tell you what your obligations are. They will need 2 references from you. They will need your ID from you. They will need your health declaration field and your application field. They will tell you everything you need to do, because that offer letter is just a provisional letter which they can take back from you. Once you have completed all that, they will offer you this written statement of particular. It's not the same as a contract. So remember that you're going to have 2 documents, 3 including the offer letter. The law requires you to have one. It tells you, like I said, the minimum statement of what your holiday will be, your holiday entitlements. It will cover your pay and your conditions and the location and the job title. So just a very brief overview that someone can do within 5 minutes and give it to you guys. They don't really get you to sign it, they just give it to you with your name on it. Now, by law, like I said, a contract of employment has to be issued with you within 2 months. This will be more in detail. It will be quite a few pages long. It would include stuff about your pension schemes, any collective agreements that you guys had, any training, any disciplinaries, anything like that. So it'd be more in detail. And from the back of this, you can also get a staff handbook, which will be even more in detail. They don't need to give you a staff handbook, but it's just good practice. And that's like about 30 pages long, which you will have. And you would refer to this if you're in the UK, because we follow the rules loads. So does employees. So if you think, oh, I don't like this job no more, how long do I have to give a notice for? You can look at your contract or your staff handbook to see how long your notice is, because we have so many laws and rules. At least you know what it is for your company. Any questions about that? So what type? Oh yeah, sorry. You would also get your health declaration. As someone asked yesterday, I think it was Grace, if you wanted to work extra, you can. You'll get a 48-hour opt-out form and any information or anything borrowed. So if they borrowed you a laptop or some cards to get into the building or ID badges, they will get you to sign something to say that we have given you this information or given you these products, and you get you to sign it. And then when you leave, you will need to give it back because it's property of them. So what do you think you will find in a contract? I've told you a couple of things already. So what else do you think you will get in a contract? So just name me a few. It doesn't matter if you think it's right or wrong. This is the second contract that you will get, like the one in 8 weeks. So what do you think you will find in that? So I've already told you would get your pension. Or you get information on your pension or pension schemes. So what else do you think you would find on a contract?
The salary to be paid.
Yes, that's right. Your salary and your pay. What else do you think? I've given you some answers. Come on, guys. I see who was listening now.
How long the contract is?
That's right. How long the contract's for? What else was it? Sorry. What else do you think? Sorry?
Holiday entitlements.
Very important one. Holiday entitlements. Very important because that's the first thing I look at is how long do they give me off. Before I even started the job, I want to know how long they give me off because I'm already planning my holidays already. So I need to know if they're going to give me 20 days or they're going to give me 30 days. So very important one. What else do you think will come in the contracts?
Any agreements that you had with them?
Absolutely, Grace. Remember, when you have any agreements that you have negotiated or stated in your contract, I mean, do you know, at interview stage, write them down, what they agreed. So do you know when it comes to your contract, check it against that, because if it's not in your contract and you said that, oh, I'm meant to work from home 2 days a week, but it's not in my contract, get them to rewrite it. Don't sign a contract until they put in everything that you have agreed, because even though you've got it psychologically, if it's not there in a court of law, they can say, we never said that, even though psychologically you did, but you got no proof. So they can amend it. I never sign a contract. I think I might be one of the only people that reads my contract inside out. I check all the wordings, and I have refused to sign many contracts. I'm saying, I don't agree with this because that's not what you said. And then they either explain it to me. If they explain to me in writing, in an email, I'm happy. I attach it with my contract just in case. Always cover your backs, guys. Like, look after yourself. The employers looking after themselves. You look after yourself, because after you leave, they don't care about you. So you don't care about them. You want a good reference from them, but make sure everything's in writing so you don't fall out. This is where you can fall out with people, okay? So that's a very important one. What else do you think? Think about your own contracts in Kenya. What do you think you'll find?
Policies and something.
Yes, brilliant one. Policies and procedures. Right. What they'll do is, with the policy and procedure, they won't put the whole thing in because it's like this long. You'll bore the life out of you. You'll probably fall asleep. They will tell you where to find it. They will tell you policy and procedures are on our intranet or in the office. You can find them here, or they will put some of it or the most important things in your staff handbook or this contract. They just put like a little snapshot of it. Name me a couple more and then I'll help you guys out.
How long is the contract?
Yeah, we
The
got that.
duration?
Absolutely. Yeah, we got how long is the contract for?
Oh, okay.
No, it's good though. Brilliant. At least you're talking, Anne. I'm glad. So yeah, how long the contract's for? Brilliant. It's
Your responsibilities in your job.
yes, that is definitely one. Now, with your responsibilities in your role, don't say to an employee, if the employee says you're going to be doing office admin duties, you'll be negotiating contracts, you'll be purchasing orders, if they've only stated that, if in real life they tell you to do more things, don't be like, oh, my contract stated I can't do that. Don't be like that, okay? Just do what they got to do, because otherwise you don't want to upset them. So they will tell you your main responsibilities, but not everything. I'm telling you now, in any country, in any company, and Harsha can be my proof, you will never do what is exactly your roles and responsibilities. You will do above and beyond. I always, when we do contracts, me and Harsha, when we issue contracts, we always write, and any other duties agreed by your line manager, or this is a not exhausted list, because they can tell you that things change in the UK too quickly. So people are reluctant to do anything else, so they will tell you extra stuff that you might do.
Yeah, I want to add a little bit to that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to do above and beyond, like you said, but you know, there is a limit as well.
Yeah.
Don't do anything and everything the employer asks you to do, but as long as they are you know, related to your job, and as long as they are fair enough, fair things to do, then yeah, accept it, because it's good for your progression as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Harsha's hit the nails on the head. Do things in moderation, but don't let them abuse you. No one's there to abuse you. Because what they will do is, the more you do, the more they will ask from you. So you need to have a limit, but at the same time, if you turn around and say, look, I'm leaving because I can't take this no more, they potentially might want to keep you and put your salary up as well. Or that's where your negotiations will come back into place. If you're thinking you're doing a lot more and you're doing a more senior role or something else, go and have a quiet word with the manager, or say, look, you know what, I'm doing more than my job. I love doing it, but can we just discuss potential progression or a salary figure? There's not, you're not going to, they're not going to say, no, you're sacked. They're not going to say that to you. They're not allowed to, because you can take that to court of law and say, you are doing above and beyond. Here's my proof. I just asked for a salary increase and they've done that. So they won't discriminate you. They would think, you know what, I am taking the mickey a bit. I am getting this person to do more than they should do. Let's see if we can put their salary up. And Harsha said yesterday as well, he took any job. No, he never. He took the job that he wanted, and he started on, he didn't even care what he asked for, and they progressed him, fast-tracked him good, quickly. So they looked after Harsha until to the stage where Harsha said, I don't want this job no more, because he's exhausted his things. So be good in a certain way, you know, but don't be taking the mickey out of. Anything else, guys, you can think of?
I don't know if this is applicable everywhere, but the organizational structure, like who you're reporting to and all.
You know what? That is actually a brilliant one. I haven't even got that on my list, Olivia, so well done. And I'm in HR, so I'm really ashamed that I haven't even got that on my list. But organization structure is so important to the company for two reasons. One, you get to know faces and familiar yourself with people. And two, you can see where you fit in. So if they show you, they should give you a outlook of it, of how the company is, and you can see, oh, I'm just an office admin, but they've got a recruitment area, they've got pensions, they've got HR, they've got operations manager. That will show you there is scope for progression as well, and who you can go to as well. So a really, really good one to have, organization structure. I love an organization structure, my favorite thing to do. Anything else, guys, that you can think of? I'll take one more. One more. Who wants to be the last one to say something? Anybody? Is it going to be? Oh, Angela's just logged on. How's she going then?
Number of hours, the number of days, what days of the week you're going to work.
That's right, number of hours and days. Sometimes office jobs are usually 9 to 5. Care, healthcare will never be 9 to 5, I'm telling you now. Even office jobs in health social care, unless you're like HR or something, is normally 9 to 5. But be ready to work crazy hours. Joy said values and ethics. That's absolutely right as well. Thank you, Joy. They normally give you, you know, in the staff handbook, they give you the aims, objectives of a company, what they are looking for. They try and embed this into you. coming from a HR background, anybody that comes to our company, we have a motto or objectives that we try to achieve, and we try to tell our staff this, and this is what we go on, transparency and what we are trying to produce, so they know our clear vision. Very important for you guys to know that. Okay, so you've got some brilliant ones there. Oh. These are some other things that you could potentially do as well. You can have your name and address of the employer and you as well, employee. You got your pay, your visa requirements, guys, because you guys will come on a skilled worker visa, they will tell you anything that they need to do, like your BRP card, your terms and conditions of your contract, anything that would not detriment if they're offering you any accommodation, any flights or anything like that, they would mention it in your contract as well. I wrote working from home, but it's meant to be working from home. So I've got spelling mistakes here, terrible, bad me. So anything there that you guys want to ask about?
Yes.
Yeah.
Monitoring.
Which one?
On the fourth column,
Yeah.
monitoring. What is that? Under what to where? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Fourth column, 7th row.
Monitoring, that's equality. The quality, UK are very big on quality services. So they'll talk about monitoring in the way of, they will monitor maybe your code of conduct, they'll monitor you, or they will monitor the quality of the service that you're providing. So they have to put something about quality assurance into their contracts, because especially with CQC or care, they're really big on it. So they need to show that they are always monitoring the services and monitoring the systems and monitoring you. So they might do observations on you, they do supervisions with you, they do appraisals with you, team meetings with you, so that they will state what kind of stuff they will do with you.
Okay, thank you.
No worries. Anything else? This in a contract, you would need to sign a contract. You would sign a contract for them to have it back, and you would want them to sign it as well. Do not have a contract unsigned by the employer, because if you do go to a court of law or ACAS or anything, and they haven't signed it, if it's not signed, then they can't do nothing. You can't do much about it unless they sent it through email. If they sent it through email, you can show that it's verified from the company. Because if they sent it just like that and they haven't signed it, it could be from anyone. They could say, we never wrote this. So if it's through the email or they signed it, that is your secure contract. No one goes that far. I'm just telling you worst case scenarios just in case. So contracts and negotiations now. So you prepared for your interview, it's gone really well. You gave fantastic answers, you know, from all the tips me and Harsha are going to give to you guys. You've matched the expectations, and the hiring manager thinks, you know what, this person is brilliant for our company. So as a result, they have extended you to a provisional offer. This is great news for you guys. You think, yes, you know, I've got my job. I'm, you know, pack my bags. Remember, say, pack your bags to fly over here. But before you rush into anything and accepting an offer, you can provisionally accept it if you want on the phone, but always consider all aspects of a contract, you know, the written statement of particulars and what they would say next, because this is where your negotiation will potentially come into place. And this might detriment you either getting the job. They might say, look, you're not right for it, or you say, I don't want this job. So this part is very crucial to anything you do. Sometimes there is nothing and you just say, yeah, that's fine. But sometimes you do need to negotiate things. So what kind of things do you think you would negotiate on? So what do you think you would negotiate on?
Payments.
Salary,
That's right, salary.
benefits,
Working conditions. Yes, working conditions. Was that Anne that said that? Sorry, I wasn't. Working conditions is very crucial to negotiations because you might have the perfect pay, you might have the annual leave, but you might have a little dingy, dirty little office with no window and cold. It might be cold in your office and you're cramped in there with other people. That's not good working conditions. So you need to make sure that your working conditions are good, because if you don't like where you work, you won't want to go to work. Harsha? So anything else that you think you could potentially negotiate on? Because these are the things that you need to keep in mind and be fully prepared for.
maybe pension.
Pension, in a way, yes, you're right. And because the UK have to, if you are working full time, by law, they have to tell you about pension. And if you put some money into your pension, they would have to match it. So if you put 20% in, they put 20% in. So your pension contributions will be a factor. So you can ask them, can I be opted into the pension? How much would the pension be paid at? And they will tell you, oh, we pay 5% or we pay 20%. And say, oh, can you extend it or not? They will say yes or no. Some people say yes if they have deducted your salary or something, or gave you a little bit less in other ones. So pensions you could potentially do as well. Other things you can look at is things such as your salary, parking, very important in the UK. If you've got a car, especially in England, it's hard to find a car parking space. So see if you get car parking space, or if you had to pay for a ticket, for not a ticket because you parked in the wrong place, a ticket like for car parking ticket, would they return that back for you? Because it can become quite pricey. You might be paying 20-30 pound a week. So they might say, you know what, we'll pay for that, or we give you a discount on it. Annual leave, you can potentially negotiate annual leave. Bonuses, pension, like somebody said, healthcare, childcare. They might give you good perks for if you've got children in that you need to look after. And in nursery, working from home conditions, like the UK have changed dramatically now due to COVID. So you might be able to work from home more, be more flexible. Very important one, because it's very expensive, is training. You can see if there's any training that they will put you on, because training courses will cost probably thousands, hundreds of pounds. And yes, you can invest in yourself. You can get courses outside, from recruitment agencies, from just doing, going to universities or colleges, but see if the company can give you anything as well. Memberships now, if you are, say, a registered nurse, if you have to pay anything, see if they will pay it for you. If you are in HR and you have to get your HR membership, your CIPD qualification, see if they will pay for that. Any your recruitment qualification, see if they will pay for your membership, because you can say to them in a nice way, like, I'm going to be a recruitment consultant for your business. Would you pay for my membership to ensure that I'm always compliant to carry on working for you guys? And they might say, yes, you know what, we will pay for it because it would get expensive. And stocks and shares is another one. If they have any stocks and shares, can you invest in it, and what the rate will be? That's the kind of things, okay? It may seem obvious now if you look at it, but when people think about negotiations, they just think about the salary. But salary is not everything. You need to think about the whole thing. So before you go for a job, when you get offered the job, have all this in your mind about, once you've spoken to the hiring manager, you would know what you can ask for. So you would get to know what kind of people they are. You would do some research on the company to see what you can ask for. Now, if you don't like negotiation, only go for jobs that show the salary straight away. Sometimes I don't apply for jobs that don't show me the salary, because there's two reasons why they don't show you the salary. One is because it's a terrible salary. They might pay you just something like £8.91. Or two, they put you on the spot and they say to you, what would you like? And I don't like to be asked that question, what would I like? Because if I say it too high, I might not get the job. If I say it too low, they might have took advantage of me. So I tend to avoid them. I always go and apply for a job that shows either the exact rate or between a certain amount. So if they say they're paying between 30,000 to 35,000, I would apply for them jobs because I know that's, you know, my negotiation will be between 30 to 35,000. If they say if they don't give you anything, and you said, oh, I'm okay with £9 an hour, but really the job's worth £15 an hour, they will give you £9. So don't go for it if you're not good at negotiations. Build yourself up to it. Any questions on that, guys? Lost my thing.
Could you negotiate on working hours?
Yes, you can. You can do working hours. Harsh, I can't even get rid of this. You can negotiate on working hours. In the fact that if it's full time and you really can't do full time, you can say, look, can I do 4 days a week? Can I do 5 days a week? You know, or if you've only got 30 hours, you can ask for additional hours. And they will tell you, you know what, we've only got 30 hours at the moment, but we can offer you 35 hours if you bring in the work, especially in sales. They will offer you, say, 20 hours a week, and they will say to you, if you bring in the business, because you're making us money, we'll make you money, and we'll give you full time. A lot of care jobs, even agencies, we do as well. In support jobs, because we have tactics, so we give 75% or 50% of what you ask for. So if it's a 0-hour contract and you've asked for full time, we tend to give you 30-hour contracts, just so that we've got the extra bit to play with. So you can negotiate dates and hours. Tips on negotiating now. Okay, so there's a certain number of strategic and tactics you can use to help you face the common negotiation skills with your future employers. Okay, you need to have a real balance in negotiations. You don't want to be unafraid. You don't want to be afraid to ask anything, but you don't want to be too cocky and be rude. So you have to find a good balance of asking for it. And this comes with the way that you are and the way that you ask for things. Make sure you're a likable person and recognize who it is you're talking to. It might sound obvious that you need to be a nice person, but some people do come into interviews very rude. If they're rude or they've got the arms crossed and they're talking to me like this, you haven't built that rapport. So they're not going to be, you haven't come to a good start already. So your body language in your interview would set you up for your negotiation skills from the job offer, because they would think, you know what, this person was nice, I don't mind giving it to them. Always be nice and pleasant in. It's just being nice. It makes such a big difference. You potentially can get above and beyond. I'm always nice. Even if I don't like the person, I'm nice. I want the work. So I want to work from home. I want to wear what I want. I want the business car. So I'm overly nice, but not too nice that it's creepy. You don't want to be creepy. You want to be just the right balance of nice. So this is what would happen if, if you want to try negotiations. There's going to be a lot of tension in negotiating. There'll be a lot of intense questioning from their side, because you might be worried, like, I might not get the job. But you got to remember, from their point of view, they might think, oh, if I be too much, they might not take the job and I've just lost a really good candidate. So the fears that you got, the fears that they've got, because recruitment is very expensive. To go through interviewing people, grabbing that jobs and getting to this stage, it took weeks for them, especially if they've got memberships and stuff to pay for and they urgently need to fill that in. So they are worried about losing you as well. Now, If it doesn't go your way, don't be angry. Don't say, oh, screw this, screw your business, and screw everything to do with you. I don't want nothing to do. Don't be like that. Yeah, just take in the chin and just say, okay, look, I appreciate that, and try and negotiate more, okay, if you can, or if you think you shouldn't, then don't. Also, the person that you're negotiating with is either going to be HR, which everybody's scared of HR. That's why I'm in HR. Or it's going to be your line manager. So you don't want to annoy them before you start. So just be pleasant with them, but they understand that you're doing it as well. So things that you can do beforehand is have a good sense of humor. Don't be overly joking. Like, don't joke about everything that we don't even know what you're talking about. Just enough to have like a bit of a personality. I've got a personality. I'm not too much, but I'm not too less. I'm just the right amount of selfie, like for you guys. Otherwise, it will become annoying. Be a good listener. Listen to every single thing they've said, because they might have said something to you in the interview, or you read in the job description, or your first phone conversation that you can bring back. You can say, oh, remember when we had the interview, you stated that, you know, we can negotiate on our salary, or we can negotiate on the childcare costs. Well, I was thinking, start it like that, because then they think, oh yeah, I did say that. But make sure they actually said it. Don't just say that they said it and they never. Give people good eye contact if you can. I know it's on the phone, you might not be able to, but video call them by their name. Say, you know, Steve, like, you know, I appreciate what you're doing for me. I'm really excited about joining this company. You know, regarding the salary, can we look in the regions of 30,000 because of X, Y, and Z? So, but look at them when you're talking to them. Don't look away from them, because it's not polite. Use their names and don't judge them. Don't think, oh, because they're the boss, they're not going to give it to me, because you've already got that negative feeling. If you don't ask, you don't get. Smile, but not all the time. Don't be freaky. Don't just be staring there, smiling at them. Like, you know, that will put me off if somebody was there sitting at me staring, because then I will look the other way, and then you lose that eye contact and you lose all engagement. Be humble and confident at the same time. Very, very hard to do that, but it's all in your body language. So be confident. You know, if you've got a salary that you want in mind, say it, but don't be rude. I had one person, we was giving her a good salary. She rang me up, Sophie, I want £10 an hour. I want it now. All my friends are getting paid £10 an hour. That put my back up straight away. I said, look, I've just given you free training. I give you any hours you want. I give you all this. I've given you higher than the standard rate. And because your friends are getting it, doesn't mean that you can get it. This is our company. This is what we can pay, because this is what our clients pay. But because she came in so aggressively to me, I think she worked herself up. Like, me and Harsha, we think she worked herself up. Like, I'm going to go to Sophie and ask for more money. But she came across very aggressive and very rude and very confrontational. And even though I got on with her, that was not a nice conversation to have. So I said, I'm sorry. Then I had to say to Harsha, go and speak to X, Y, and Z and tell them, come on, like, we've already talked about this. We'll put the salary up when we need to. Then Harsha had to speak to her, and then she goes, oh, sorry, she was just trying her luck. But she done it in the wrong way. She didn't do it right. It doesn't matter how you are. If you don't do something right, you won't get it. So it does make a big difference. We've had somebody else come to us, lovely, lovely lady. She's talking about, like, you know, I would like to have some more hours with you guys. I don't mind if you put the salary down. For her to say that broke my heart. She pulled at the strings. I said, you know what? Because I haven't got no more hours for you, I'll put your pay rate up by like 50 pence or a pound. Because she was happy to negotiate down just so she can get more hours. But I gave her money up, or me and Harsha did, just to make sure she can cover her basic requirements, so it can work the other way. She's just nice. She does everything for us. She works extra hours. She never says no. She never complains. We reward people like that. UK do reward you for good work. Well, the good companies do anyway. So take all that into consideration. Any questions about the type of tips?
How about asking open-ended questions?
Asking them what questions, sorry?
Open-ended.
Like, which type of questions would you think? Something like, what would you offer me?
Yes.
You can ask that, but I tell you now, they're going to offer you the lowest they can. They will offer you low. They'll be like 16,500, and then you'll be like, oh crap. So it might not work. So make sure your open-end questions are the right ones. Annual leave. Oh, what do you think I should get? Oh, I think you should work every day. I don't want to give you any annual leave. You know, yeah. And you would laugh exactly like that. You would giggle and think, oh crap. Best to avoid them if it's not something that's going to work in your favor. Don't give them the power to tell you what you should have. You have the power. But give them a negotiation tactic where you have a bottom rate that you're happy with and a high rate. So you can say, oh, you know, I normally get 34,000 for this job. So I'm happy between 32 to 36,000. So wherever you think I will fall into that. And if you go, okay, we're offering you 32,000, and you said, that's fine, I'm happy with that, because you're actually thinking 30,000, but you've gone in for the higher end. And say, I'm all happy with that, but if I do a good job for you guys, you know, after my probation period, can we reconsider my salary? And most of the time they say, yes, at probation, we will renegotiate your salary, because you can turn around and say, look, I know I'm going to do a good job for you guys. I really want this job. It's something I want to do. So can we renegotiate again at salary stage? If they say yes, just have that, you know, have that in your mind. So when it comes to probation, say, remember we talked about it. And normally they don't break a psychological contract if you've done good.
I want to quickly clarify one thing as well, because I'm not sure how it works in Kenya. Like when, like Sophie said earlier, 30,000 or 40,000, 45,000, that's the annual salary.
Oh, yes, sorry.
That's if it's a fixed salary, yeah. Because some care jobs in healthcare sometimes may pay hourly. That's an hourly wage. So it could be £10, £11, whatever. That's an hourly rate, hourly wage. And then when we say salary, that's the annual salary, £30, so not a monthly one. So don't get that mixed up. It's an annual salary.
If you do get mixed up and you get 30,000 an hour, that's brilliant. That's like you're a millionaire by the end of the week. So yeah, when I'm giving big amounts, it is yearly rates. Hourly rates is anything from £8.91, depending on your age, which I will go through as well. So thanks, Harsha, for clarifying that. Clearly justify why you deserve the money or the request. It's not always about salary, like I said. It's very important to remember, it's all good having a strong relationship with your potential employers, you know, but when you're meeting them, you need to ensure that you deserve the terms and agreements of what you're requesting. Explain why you should get this. Like just say, look, you know, I really want to work for the company. I'm used to about 34,000 a year. However, just to pay my bills and look after my kids, as long as I can get the base rate to pay my rent and stuff, so I can carry on working for you guys. They don't want you to live in poor conditions or not be able to feed your family and your kids. So they would tend to give you a decent wage so they can keep you as well. So if you explain the reasons, if you just say, give me now, I want 30,000 because I want more money, because I want to go on holidays, you ain't getting it. So have a bit of a sympathy or empathy thing. Good one you guys can have is it's a skilled worker visa, and I need to meet the minimum at least meet the minimum criteria of the salary expectations. The minimum criteria is £10.10 or 25,500, or it's the going rate for your job. So if you're going for a job as an engineer, even though the minimum that immigration need, the UK is 25,460, the going rate for engineering might be at 40,000. So you can't go for 25,000. You need to go for the going rate. So you need to do some research on the going rate for your job, right? And just say, look, you know what, even though the skilled worker visa is 25,500, the actual going rate is 36,000. To ensure that I meet the criteria and eligibility and get that visa to come and work for you guys and bring a great asset to your team, can you meet the going rate for it or come close to the going rate? And then they would, because some people might not know, they might think, oh, you know what, I didn't know there was a going rate. They might just think it was 20,000 or 25,000. They will go away and look at the going rate for your job and come back to you and say, you know what, to ensure you get this visa, we'll match the going rate so you can come here. So don't be afraid to say, but just tell them the reasons. Like I said, if you're being rude to them saying, pay me 30,000 or I'm going to go to your competitors, that I'll be like, yeah, okay, see you later, bye. I don't want no one to threaten me. They would not take kindly to that. And it could damage your future opportunities as well. If you are If you are unsure about what your going rate is, you can look on the, if you're going through the certificate of sponsorship, you know, on the government website, which hopefully Harsha will show you tomorrow. If not, I'll show you Friday. It will tell you the going rates for some jobs. He can't show you all of them. There's thousands of jobs out there, but he can show you kind of what you would expect for the going rate for a skilled worker visa. If not, always look at these places. You got places called Glassdoor, Career One Stop, PayScale, salary.com, but it is for the UK. You write salary.com and then it comes up for the UK. And Indeed, these companies or these websites will give you an indication of what you can roughly get paid and what other people are getting paid. So it's a good idea to check out these websites to see roughly what you need. So that would help you with some kind of a negotiation for your salary. Always look at the government website for annual leave entitlement, because they have to give you at least the minimum criteria, and look at if it's worth it. If they're saying, oh, the minimum is 20 days plus 8 bank holidays, and that's it for the rest of your life, you might think, I don't want that for the rest of the life, but they might say it's 20 days plus 8 days, but for every year that you're here, we'll add another annual leave date up until 35. That's a really good deal, because that's a lot of, that's like over a month's annual leave, working days, nearly 2 months, not including weekend. So look at the overall package. If this job is not for you, you need to decide, how badly do I want this job? Like, how badly do they need me? If they're desperate for you, you would kind of get that inkling, like, you know what, they need me. So I might be able to push a little bit more, but not too much. So you need to see how badly do they need you. And if you say no to it, what are your alternatives? Have you got anything else that you're going to go for? Especially if you're coming for a skilled worker visa, or you can think, okay, they offer me 30,000. Yeah, I'm not too happy about the annual leave. They don't give me parking, but I get a skilled worker visa. Would you turn down a £30,000 job for a skilled worker visa? I wouldn't. I will come for it still, because when you're here in the UK on a tier 2, you can actually switch employers. Because of modern day slavery, because of how employers potentially can treat you, the skilled worker visa allows you to switch within the UK to another skilled worker visa. They won't allow you to stay there, because they had stuff like that before, where you would stay with one company, and if you were treated badly, you feel like you have to stay in it. They don't do that no more. Focus on the bigger picture. For many people, a job contract negotiation is the opportunity to secure a higher salary. That's true, but it's a very minor part of your working life. Like all of you mentioned, you know, your working conditions, your responsibilities of your role. Check what you're getting in your responsibilities compared to how much you're getting paid. If they expect you out every day, you know, and use your own mileage up, and, you know, you're working really crappy hours or in weather conditions, you might want to think, oh, I can't do that all the time. So look at everything. Look at the progression opportunity. One of you said, Olivia, I think said, organization structure chart. Look at, is there any scope for progression in this company? Do not be fixated on just the money. Avoid negotiating for the sake of it. If you've got a good package, guys, don't just push them for more, because I'll be like, oh my God, I've just given them a really good salary, I give them annual leave, I'm paying for the bloody visa, I'm paying for the flights. You know what? Screw this person. I don't want them. You would annoy them. You would also get a feel for them. You would tell from them, like, the way that they are. If you think, okay, look, I've reached my limits, I need to stop now. Like, no one likes somebody bugging. Like, Harsha had the call the other day from somebody. It's a sales call. It's not a like contract. They said to him, oh, your landline, we can give you a voicemail, you know, that is really professional. And Harsha was interested. Harsha goes, yeah, okay, I'm interested in that. They kept pushing, listen to the demo now, listen. Harsha goes, look, I ain't got time to listen to the demo now. Send it to me. They pressured him so much that Harsha said, you know what? I'm not interested no more, bye. Harsha put the phone down, because they pressured him too much there and then to do something that he did not want to do. And then the guy called the next day saying, so remember yesterday, I think the phone got cut off. And Harsha's like, no, the phone didn't get cut off. I put the phone down, and he put it down again. So be careful with the negotiations. Do not annoy them. negotiation style, your negotiation style is key. Make it conversational, not confrontational. Make sure you use the right body language, and the tone is important. Don't be erratic, don't be screaming, don't be shouting, because sometimes you might be doing it without noticing it. So keep it humble, respectful, and a good tone. Don't be talking to them like this, like fast, oh my God, I don't know what you're talking about. I want this money, I want this. They're not going to understand you. Be calm. Okay? Be friendly. Have warm eye contact. Use open body language and a good posture. Don't be slouching back like thinking, yeah, because that can tell the difference in how you are trying to do this. Don't frown. Don't tap around looking anxious, and don't point at them. Pointing in the UK is rude. If I point at you like this, it's like I'm telling you off. Not nice to do, so don't ever point at anything. Ask questions if you want, but make sure questions are relevant, and have a win in your head. So think of it in the fact that this is what I really want, but I'm okay to settle at this if they give it to me. But you're hoping that they will go in the middle of your thing. So either way, you're hopefully going to walk away saying, okay, I didn't get the annual leave I wanted, but I got the parking space, and I got an office with a window and a heater. That was very important to me in an office. I wanted a window and I wanted the heater because I get cold. My mom and dad are from like India and Pakistan. Yeah, I get cold. I want a heater. So I made sure I negotiated my office and my working conditions. So do that as well. If you're not happy, say it. Thank you very much. I'm honored to get this offer. I love this company and everything you're about. I think you guys are great. And I think I can bring a lot of value to your company. However, I'm slightly unsure about the salary you've offered. It may be a bit low compared to what the market is paying for this position. The market range is at 32,000. So I was thinking more in the range. I don't mind dropping it to 30,000 because I really want to work for your company. And then like, see what they say. Leave it as that. Don't carry on. Just give them enough to think about. Because more than likely to say, you know what, let me speak to HR, let me speak to the hiring managers and let's see. Or they might say, you know what, I'll meet you at 30,000. Because you said it so nicely. They would, but pause, do that little pause, because you want them to cut your sentence off. Don't finish the sentence off for them. So I'm hoping that would help with a bit. Any questions at the moment, guys? Like I said, consider the total compensation package. Don't lie about your current salary. You can lie a little bit, just a little bit. Like if you're getting like £25,000 a year, and he said he was getting about 20,000, don't say he's getting 40,000 because they know the market range for your job. And if they are unsure, even though by law we're not meant to ask what your salary was, they might just pick up the phone to your employer and say, how much roughly were you paying? Because you're leaving, they might say, oh, he's only paying 20,000. So if you do talk about salary, normally you can exaggerate it by about 10% or 5%, depending on how much you were getting. Don't be arrogant and show your best poker face. Don't get excited. If they go to you, we're offering you 40,000 pounds. Don't be like, oh my God, I'm so excited. I got 40,000 pounds. Oh my God. Just like, say, yeah, that's fine. I'm happy with that. Like, don't show them that you're excited that you got loads of money. When you put the phone down, then get excited, but don't show it to them. Okay? Anything else? Any questions at all about negotiation? Have you mastered the art of negotiation from this? Do you think you feel comfortable in potentially approaching people to negotiate? Is there any questions about negotiations? I don't know if Nancy's saying anything or not. Are you all comfortable then with roughly what you can potentially ask for? If you don't know how to do it, just practice with someone that you might ask.
That's why I mentioned yesterday as well that any interview is an opportunity to learn and gain this experience, so you can practice these things as well.
That's
Even
it.
if you didn't get a job straight away from the first interview you have, you still learn a lot of things and get this experience. So
That's
it
it.
always helps.
Absolutely. Take advantage of the fact that me and Harsha here, we're recruitment consultants, we run recruitment businesses. It's anything you can learn from us for the next few days, maximize it, because you might not get this opportunity again. You might get it with other people better than us, but if you can do anything from us, guys, and we can help you guys with tips, that's what we're here for. You don't want to go home next week and think, oh, I should have asked Sophie that, but I was too scared. I know it's a silly question, but there's not, like I said, there's no such thing as a silly question. I'd rather you ask and get it out of your mindset. Otherwise, Joseph's going to have tons of emails and he'll be saying, Sophie, Harsha, you know, you did that session 3 months ago. I'll be like, I can't remember, you know, so ask now while you can.
Yeah, one more thing as well. Negotiation. Companies in the UK, they actually like when people negotiate a little bit to a certain extent. So otherwise, if you just take whatever they give you, they'll get bored as well. They'll be like, oh, that was nothing exciting. But if you negotiate, like, you know, a little bit to the right extent, they will like it. They will like you even more.
Absolutely. Yeah, they do love a person that is confident. And especially if you're going into sales, if you go into a sales job, they think, you know what, this person negotiated and got a good wage for me, got a good package. They're going to sell my products. I want this person. So show your negotiation skills in that things. Right. Modern day slavery. It's all over the world. Modern day slavery. We have a certain act. It's more to do with forced labor. It could be about threats or violences or coercing someone to work for little or no pay. Now, even though slavery has been outlawed in nearly every country, loads of men, women, and children are working like slaves in certain factories, rice mills, garment places, any industry. And it's happening in the UK as well. People have been closed down and broken into. They've done a lot of documentaries on modern slavery in the UK. Forced slavery is just not just a violent crime. It could be people trapped to do gang rapes, locked in tiny rooms, starved, beaten, and killed. Very important, especially for people coming overseas. Victims can potentially try and run away and escape, and they can be tracked down. They can be returned to the facility, and they can be threatened with their life or their family's life. So you might feel that you're in a predicament. UK are big on Modern Slavery Act. All of us, every single company out there has to have a modern slavery process of what we would do to try and eliminate it. And every company would do it in some way or another. They might do it very minimum or to the extreme. Sometimes on occasions, a little minimum thing might be bypassed, but if it's something too extreme, it's not on in the UK and we can get fined or penalties for that. If it's just something minimum, they might just get a slap in the wrist. In regards to you guys, coming as, I don't know about skilled worker visa. I don't know if Joseph or Harsha could say, I don't think you can get access to public funds on a skilled worker visa until you get indefinite leave to remain or a citizen. So sometimes you might come here and fall on hard times and you still can't claim benefits. Sometimes you might come to the UK and your visa's expired or you've overstayed or you've jumped on the boat from France and come to the UK. That has happened as well. So if you're here, you try to claim refugee status, or you've gone underground, you think I can go underground for 20 years, because I think that's the criteria, 20 years, illegally or not legally, you can potentially get a visa. So what you're going to do for 20 years, or how you're going to, move forward, or if you've lost that skilled worker job and you've got no access to money, what you're going to do. So you might feel scared and vulnerable and you might go for jobs and just do anything and everything. People would ask for your, oh, can I have your passport and your visa card? Don't worry, I'll look after you. I just need this for ID. Lots of people from overseas are happy to give their visa and passport. I'm British, I don't give my passport to nobody. I can get it again. I don't give your passport to anybody unless it's a proper company and they go, look, we're going to, scan it for your DBS now. When we do DBSs, we ask for you to scan it online and send it to us, or come into the office and show it to us. And we will scan it there and then in your face and give it back to you. But do not give it to a random person you met on the street, no contract, no nothing, saying that because you're going undercover, we'll give it to you. They will take your passport and you will be their slaves. They will not give you it back. You'll be stuck. You'll be too scared to go to the police to get it back because you think they're going to deport me. So you might fall in hard times. If you ever fall in hard times, contact the Home Office, because on occasions they will help you, especially with COVID at the moment. They've helped people that are not got access to public funds because we're going through a situation. If you got no visa, there is people are doing jobs. Look, Yvonne said she'd done some, what was her wording? I want to say exactly. She went behind the scenes or underground. She went underground. It's not legal, but people do it because they need to survive. So you just have to be very wary of these things. Like, don't fall victim to it, because they will pay you £10 a day. They'll beat you up and you will be in a worse situation. So always think about things when if you've only got like 20 hours to work, try and bring the money with you if you can, and try and speak to your employer. Sign up to as many agencies as you can and get some kind of work. Agencies are there to help try and get you work. Even if it's jobs you don't want to do, you'd rather be a support worker or a cleaner than to give your passport and visa to somebody else and never get it back. Just do anything to survive. If me and Harsha tomorrow had no job at all, I'll say to Harsha, do any job, I don't care what it is, do any job to make sure food on the table and there's a roof on the head, and we'll work it out. Like, we would never forfeit our passports or visas for anybody. It's just not cool, especially a British passport. Everybody will want to take my British passport and sell it, and I'll get in trouble for it. So it's not worth it. The police will help you, and you got certain refugee places or shelter schemes that would help you. Even if you have not got a visa, they will help you. So there's a lot of support there, and they won't report you to the Home Office. They will just help you to survive. And the UK have got a really good community of helping people, like with food. We have food banks, you know, and certain other things that we can do to try and support you guys. So don't feel like you have to be victim to modern day slavery, okay? Very important in the UK. Wages in the UK.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Like you say, I've heard you say something about giving out your passports.
Yes.
Like, you know, we hear stories, especially, let's say, mostly I have heard stories from Germany and Dubai.
Yeah.
When like once you reach the destination, I know some people don't have information, like they give out their passports, like, because you're here, you need a job, then they tell you, give me your passport so that you can get this job. Now in UK, is there like that kind of situation, or how are you supposed to like give them your passport? You know, like,
never give your passport.
just stay with it.
Just stay with your passport. You know what you do? Do you know all the stuff we've been talking about, Simon? Check the company is legal. If they're on company house, they're legal. If they're not on company house, or you can't find any access to them, don't give your passport. Don't get a job from them, because I wouldn't trust them. I would not trust them. And I would not give my passport to somebody that's not registered, because if you gave it to someone that's legal, say me and Harsha now, you've made a trust with us. You never know, me, Harsha and Joseph might be, you know, thinking, okay, modern day slavery, yeah, let's get these people from Kenya to the UK and they can work in these buildings. We might be doing it to you guys now, but you build that trust with us. If I've got no right to ask for your passport, if I ask for your passport now, you're thinking, why does she need my passport for? Go and do a company house check on me and think, okay, they're legal. Ask me, what do you need it for? I will say, I need to do your DBS. You can stay with your passport. I just need to photocopy it because I need a copy of it, but you can have the original back. I would not send it off to no one. I would not give it for them to disappear with, never. So don't do it. I'll rather lose the job than to give my passport, because you will lose your life instead. I know I'm being exaggerated, but it has happened to so many people. And you might think that you would never fall victim to it, but you can. Do you want to add something, Harsha?
Yeah, I just wanted to add, yeah, like Sophie said, it is illegal to hold somebody else's passport for any reason, unless it's the police, it's the actual real police. So yeah, Simon, I know you were planning to get arrested, but try not to, okay? So yeah, they might, yeah, apart from police, any workplace or office or any factory, any company, they're not allowed to keep hold of your passport. They might just take it temporary, just to take a photocopy during your interview or something like that. But you can only give it to them if you actually trust them. If they're in the proper office or something, just give it temporarily to take the passport copy. Unless they will just ask you for a copy, they will just ask you to email a copy of it. Apart from that, your visa card, which is a pink card, the biometric card, or your passport, no one's allowed to keep it for you. No one's allowed to even ask for it unless they are taking just a copy for it to give you a job or do a police check or something like that.
I'll tell you something you can do.
Yeah.
With your passports, your BRP cards, your birth certificate, take a photocopy of everything and give it to somebody in your home country that you trust, like your parents or your family member, and have another copy for yourself. In Islamic religions, I don't know about the ones, I'm just saying there's a lot of forced marriages. So if I ever went to Pakistan before I was married, I would give a copy. I told my brother, hold a copy of my passport and my, all my details, just in case I go there, they take my passport off me. You can give that to the UK police and they can trace you and get you safely back home or out of here. Or your family members, if they don't hear from you, they can grab your stuff and go to the UK embassy or some embassy to try and help. Maybe not the Kenyan one, because it sounds terrible, but if they've got a copy of your passport and your BRP card, even a photocopy, at least they know you're legally there. Someone's took your stuff. So always make a photocopy and give it to a couple of people that you trust before you make your way down here. I'm not saying that the UK is like that. There are some people, but you never know. You might have an indirect flight. You might have an indirect flight to a country that might do it. You just don't know. So just always be safe. I hope that answered your question.
Yeah.
Okay, so wages in the UK, there's a national living wage and a national minimum wage, okay? By law, they need to pay you the national minimum wage. In the UK, the wages goes on your age. So that is the minimum criteria that will pay you. There's a difference between a national living wage and a national minimum wage. The primary difference is that the national minimum wage is applied to people that are aged over 25 and over, or 23 and over. The national living wage is law now, and companies can be taken to court if they're not paying the national living wage as well. So the national living wage and anybody over 23 years old have to get paid from April. At the moment it's £8.91, but from April, £9.50. So that's only in a month, so I'm doing the new ones. If you're between the ages of 20 to 21, 21 to 22 is £9.18. They don't need to give you the national living wage there. They need to get, as long as they meet the national minimum wage. But for if you're 23 and over, they have to meet the national living wage and the minimum wage. If you're between the ages of 18 and 20, it's £6.83. If you're 16 and 17 or apprentice, it's £4.81. Now, if for any reason you are in the UK and you're doing an apprenticeship course, for the first, it's £4.30 at the moment, but it will go up to £4.81. If you're over 19, for the first 12 months, they can pay you £4.81 if they want. But as soon as you hit your 13th paycheck, they are supposed to pay you your national minimum wage. So your wage for your 13 months should go up to £9.50 if you're all over 23. So make sure that happens, okay? Because by law, they have to pay you. If you're under the age of 19, they can carry on paying you £4.81 if they want to. Okay? Usually, like I said, the national living wage is higher than the national minimum wage. If you feel that you need the national living wage, negotiate it into your contracts. If you are under 23 years old and you're getting £9.80, you can say, look, the national living wage is £9.50. I've got family, I've got kids. Can you at least meet that? So I can just, carry on with you guys. By law, they should be meeting it. It's just respectful. Because you're 20 years old doesn't mean that you haven't moved out and got kids. In the UK, they have. Now in Scotland, even though you got the wages, the one in the blue for, you've got this for everybody in Scotland. They're just very generous out here. They're very nice. And if you're working in the public sector, like health and social care, they actually pay you £10.50. Or it's going to go up to £10. I think it's £10.02 at the moment. You get paid £10.50 in Scotland if you're working in health and social care industry, which is brilliant because a lot of people in England and Wales do not get paid that. I know people getting paid £8.91, even British citizens. So if you do come here, please check out it's known as a floor rate wage. Check out what it is for you if you come here and make sure you're getting that. So if somebody tries to say to you £9.50 and you're living in Edinburgh, say, oh, but I work in care and the floor rate is £10.50. They'll be like, oh crap, she knows about it. I need to pay her that. So always be educated to what you should be entitled to. If you are getting £10.50 in health and social care in Scotland, that means you've met the minimum criteria for the care assistant visas, and for the jobs on the shortest occupation list, which is 20,480, you can get skilled worker visa in Scotland. Then they are making it easy for you. Yeah, there is a surge of Harsha can back me up. There's a surge of overseas workers in Scotland because there's a big need.
Absolutely. And I wanted to add one more thing as well, just to clarify. I know like some countries like in the Middle East, like Dubai and like UAE, they pay, their pay changes based on the person's citizenship. If they are paying like a UK citizen, they pay a lot more than someone from other countries. But in the UK, that doesn't happen. Everybody gets paid the same, regardless of your citizenship. Even if you're British or if you come from a different country, they still pay you the same amounts. They don't consider your citizenship when it comes to your salary or the pay rate.
That's good to know, because you know, having a British passport, I don't know, certain things can happen. There's still some gender pay politics going on, and you know, in the workplace where men used to get paid more than women. I think that's all started to either get scrapped or it's kind of the same now. I think it's the same because it's all about equality. So if you find out that you're somebody that's the same level as you, make sure you know about it as well. Like if in the fact that they're doing the same roles and responsibilities, or if you're doing higher and you find out they're getting paid more than you can take that forward. Someone done it on the BBC News, I think it was the other day, where she found out that her colleagues were getting paid 4,000 or 4 to 8,000 a year more than her. So she took that through the gender pay law, and she won that. Other females come forward for the BBC News report. She was saying, I'm more famous. I do more reading than this guy. How is he getting paid more when I've been in the job more? She won that in the court of law. She still got her job and she gets paid. I don't know, she gets either paid the same as him or higher, and they've changed everybody's. So if in doubt and you find out, as long as you can back it up, if they turn around and say, you don't come to work, I've not seen you at work and you're asking for more money. He comes to work every day and, you know, he doesn't take a day of sick, and you're there saying, I want more money because, you know, I'm a female. Don't use it if it's irrelevant, okay? Only use it if you can. You know, in the UK, we love using a race, a color, or a gender for everything. So we just got to use it in the right format, because then people will not take it seriously. Any questions, guys?
Yes.
Yeah.
Are they hourly or daily?
I didn't hear that. Sorry, Olivia.
These wages, are they hourly or daily?
Oh, hourly.
Okay, thank
If
you.
you're getting paid that daily, that's the modern day slavery. You need to report that. So it's an hourly rate.
Okay.
£9.50 is hourly rate. Roughly, you'll get about £100 a day, potentially £80 to £100, depending on how many hours. Monthly, you can get between, for a full-time salary, something like 1,200 to 1,200 plus, depending on what your rate is. And yearly is around like anything above 20,000 or 18,600 for your visas is sufficient. Okay. Not 18,000, 20,400, sorry, and 18,000 and a half is for if you're on a partner route, I think. So there you have it. The good thing is, if you're in doubt with anything, if somebody says to you you're getting 30,000 a year, you can go on the website and type in UK tax calculator. You type in 30,000, they'll tell you your take home pay, what you will get before you get taxed, after you get taxed. They tell you your hourly pay and they tell you your monthly pay, so you can kind of roughly know what you're getting. And then after a while, it becomes second nature to you. And they take into considerations if you've got other jobs, these calculators do, or if you're paying student loans or anything like that, you can kind of tell you what you will get. Interview techniques, guys. Congratulations, you've got that interview. That means that you've seen a lot of competition. You know, the company feels you've got something about you that they've put you on the short list. So be confident that you've got this far. Harsha said it yesterday, you know, to even get an interview is a big achievement. So get ready for the next steps. You will be very nervous to do an interview. I'm still nervous to this day. That's why I do interviews for people. But if I had an interview, I still get nervous, especially if they have tests or presentations. Like the UK love tests for certain things, and it makes me so anxious. I hate it. And it could put you off doing the interview, but try not to if it's going to be a fantastic opportunity for you. Present your ideas and demonstrate that you are the best person for this role. How do you do that? You need to think of some techniques or things that would help you with preparing for the interview. So what kind of things do you feel that would help you prepare for an interview? Start from right from the beginning, anything at all. Don't just think of the questions. So what do you think would help you?
Confidence.
Absolutely, confidence. Even if you're scared like hell inside, don't show it on your face. Like, oh, like you don't know if I'm scared of doing this training with you guys. I don't show it. I might be coming off this and say, Harsha, I couldn't take that no more. You just don't know because I don't show it. What else?
Dress code.
Dress code is absolutely imperative. With the dress code, you need to feel like Harsha went through dress code the other day, but also it's not just about the way you look, it's the way you feel. If you're wearing on, girls, if you're wearing on some skinny, tight jeans and a tight top which you can't breathe in, you're going to feel uncomfortable. Like you won't feel comfortable. Like you want to undo your belt, you know, and sit there comfortable. If you're in high heels and you just walked down the street to your interview and your feet hurt, you know, you're not going to feel comfortable. So make sure you're comfortable going to it. Try your interview clothes on beforehand. If you're doing Zoom meetings, great. Like I said, top half, that's it. It's fine. And be comfortable for the rest of it. Like, you don't know what I'm wearing on. I'm wearing on the top. You don't know what I'm wearing underneath. So, you know, I might be uncomfortable. I might be nice, comfortable in my joggers. You just don't know. But as long as you're presentable. Anything else?
Use clear voice and calm voice.
Absolutely. It is imperative that you are clear. Mumbling, jargon, you know, too much British slang that we talked about all the languages, too much slang, like in the fact that you're from Kenya, you might use certain words that we don't understand. Just try and learn what we don't understand. You might think, oh, I know this word, but if you're clear about it, or if they're unsure about it, just you can explain it as well. So try and use as much appropriate language as you can that is comfortable for you guys. Anything else?
Posture.
Posture, absolutely, definitely. Like you don't want to go to the interview like this. You're right. Harsha's favorite word. You're right. Yeah, like, you know, I just want this job. You know, I don't know. You don't want to do that. That's rude. You need to be nice, comfortable. Sit up straight. You know, don't be tapping around. Just have a nice feel about you, a nice warmth. I talk a lot with my hands. You'll see me do this a lot, like this. I don't know if it's a British thing. We talk with the hands because that shows openness and we express ourselves. Like I'm really expressing it around my hands, and that can tell. But I'm doing it in a nice way. Like I'm inviting you guys. I'm not pointing at you guys. Like I said, I'm not sitting back. I'm not biting my fingers or rolling my eyes and stuff. So you can talk with your hands because that shows a lot about your body language and posture. Is there anything else you guys can think of? You come up with some fantastic ones. I'm not gonna lie.
Don't be rude.
Don't be rude, for sure. Don't be rude. You would get some directors being rude in a way. They're not, just like I said, they're not aiming it at you. It's just about the situation. My director, I went for an interview the other day. Like I said to you guys, we were just messing around. He was absolutely fantastic. And he was angry about a situation. He was swearing, but I loved it. I love the fact that he's swearing in it because he showed me he's quite cool. He's quite chilled out. I was very tempted to leave our job as recruitment agencies and working for him. I said, Harsha, he's so cool. But, you know, we couldn't. So if they're swearing, that's fine. But if that doesn't mean that you should start swearing, though. If they go, fuck this, don't be like, yeah, fuck this. You know, don't join in yet. After you get the interview, then you can do it. It's not an issue, but don't do it in interview stage. So make sure, like I said, wear the right clothes on in the interview. First impressions count. Don't wear your football t-shirt on, especially if you say you're a Chelsea fan. and they're a Manchester United fan, or they don't even like football, they'll be like, oh God. They're not meant to judge, but they might just do it as a joke thing, but you never know. Wear what's very comfortable for yourselves. Little things make a difference. Make sure your nails are nice and tidy. Don't wear on the biggest nails, girls, with all this bling coming off, and I can't hear you over the crackling of your nails. Just be like nice and clean, like don't have dirt in it, guys. Like, if you were doing building work outside, just make sure they're nicely set up. Keep jewelry simple. Don't be wearing on all the bling that I can't see no more. I want to see you. Just wearing nice, tidy earrings. A little chain's fine. A little bracelet's fine. Do not go to an interview in your sandals. Do not go into your flip-flops that you wear to the beach, because that's all I will be looking at. Why should you work in the flip-flops? Girls, if you've got like nice, classy sandals you can wear on, that's fine. Guys, do not rock up in your sliders. It's not going to happen. Sliders and socks is a no-no here. Don't do it. Okay, make sure if you got a bag with you, please empty your bag and bring your bag. Do not bring your bag with everything in it and say, oh, yes, I've got certificates for you. Let me just go through my big bag. Oh, let me just take this out, take this out. Don't do that. Just have your bag nice and tidy, prepared for an interview. Just have what you need. If you need a certificates, if you need a pen, piece of paper, any ID, just have it tidy. Don't bring the whole house with you. Do some pre-interview research, very important. Do your homework on the company. Find out what they're selling or what they're doing, because you are going to be applying for hundreds of jobs. You might not even know what they're doing. We said it, we don't know. Look at the brand, look at the strategy, look at the reviews on the business. I looked at a business the other day, they had really poor reviews, very, very poor reviews in care. I used that to my advantage. I said, I read the reviews on your business and they were, I said, they go, has that put you off? I go, no, actually, it's made me want to apply for this job more, because I know lots of people won't say good things about a business, but that one person that says something bad would write it. And also, I want to turn around people's feelings towards the business, because some people have written bad things. I want to show it's a good place to work. So turn a negative into a positive. They think, you know what? Fair play. She wants to try and help us build it, especially in care. Care will love that. Care gets a lot of bad reviews all the time. Say to them, you know what? If they do say about reviews, just say, look, it didn't put me off. I know that some people might not be happy with it, but I'm okay with this because I know I'm a good worker and I can bring back the values and ethos for your business. They will love that. Read your job description, your specification, know what the company's about. Check your CV. If you got about 20 CVs, make sure you're talking about the right CV with them. Because if you're talking about something on another one and they're looking like confused, they know you're lying about your CV. Even though you're not lying, you're altered it. Just make sure it's right. Be prepared to ask questions, 2 or 3 questions, which we'll go through as well. Make sure you arrive on time if you are doing a face-to-face interview. Go on, me and Harsha, every single time, whenever we go anywhere, we go to a drive the night before to see how long it takes us, where to park and where to go, always. Remember to ask questions. We're going to go through, prepare for questions and questions to ask in the next one. Paperwork. What kind of paperwork do you think you should take to an interview?
CV.
Yeah, you can take a CV so you know what you're talking about, because they'll have a copy as well. So you can pull out your CV in front of you and use it. Anything else?
Certificate of good conduct.
Absolutely. Every single certificate you've got, take it. My folder was this big. I used to put it in a nice folder that I brought, and I used to put it on the table, and they used to be like, oh, what's that? I'm like, oh, here you go. That's my CV. That's all my qualifications. They were so impressed. But I used to psychologically put it on the table for them to see, because they'd be like, oh, that's interesting. Why should you brought a book? I want to know what's in it. You've given that thought. So any certificates and qualifications do, have it nicely in the folder. Don't lose them, because they are so important for you to get jobs. Another one you can do is letter of recommendations, or if you've done like a presentation or a PowerPoint and you've got like a research facility thing, take paper clippings with you, your presentation things. I set up care homes. So when I went to another business, I took a little screenshot. I made little cards of the type of paperwork and policies I've implemented into businesses. And I took them small and I wrote sample on it so that no one takes them. And I said, look, this is my work. This is what I put in place. I don't think, yo, this girl knows how to use Excel. She knows how to implement policies. I gave a little bit extra and showed them things that I could do for them. They loved it. So have extra stuff that you have done for a business that you're proud of to take with you to show them my CV is not lying, my covering letter is not lying. Here's my proof, my certificates, my cuttings, okay? Remember all the stuff we spoke about at the interview, be polite, use the right language, ask the interview. You know, if the interviewer asked you a question, especially with the accents, you're not going to understand the word they said. Don't sit there thinking, what the heck did he say? Just say to him, oh, sorry, I didn't understand that. Can you repeat it again? And if you still don't know what the hell they said, oh my God, it might be a hard question to say. Is another, can you say that another word? Because I don't understand that language because I'm from Kenya. They will say, okay. Because sometimes British people use jargon. We forget that other people might not know that. So they would alter the wordings. Don't be afraid to ask it. And then you can answer the question better. Otherwise, you might answer the question. As interviewers, we've had it where we've asked a question and they've talked about something completely different. And me and Harsh are like, what are they talking about? That's not the question I asked. So you'd rather just double check it, okay? That also shows that you are listening and you're trying to acknowledge what they're saying. Okay. Common interview questions. What I'm going to do is I'm going to throw some questions out for you guys there. I want you to tell me how you would answer them. Don't worry if it's wrong. I'm hoping they're wrong because this is why we're here learning. If they're right, brilliant. So we're going to do some interview techniques together as a team, okay? So I want people to talk now. I don't want to hear my voice all the time. General question everybody would ask, tell me a bit about yourself. The reason why they ask this question is it's a common open question. The interviewers want to know more about you, but the main reason they are asking this question is they want to put you on the spot and see how you will react. They want to give you complete control of a question and take full advantage of it. Okay, so how would you answer? Tell me a bit about yourself. If you don't talk to them, that's not good. So you need to say something, guys.
I'm guessing here you talk about, well, obviously you give out your name and where you've worked before and the things that you've done before. I'm guessing you're not supposed to exactly say every single thing about yourself because it will be too long of a conversation and they might get bored. So my assumption is that I'm mainly asking to know like the kind of skills that you have and what you're capable of.
Absolutely. Olivia, you hit the nail right on the head. That's exactly what I've got written. If I could show you my paperwork now, that's exactly what I've got written here. It should be 2 or 3 minutes long, a brief conversation to cover your education and your interest and your work history. For example, you can say, even if you're not, I'm from a small country or from a small town in Kenya, and the opportunities were limited. So I went to a good school or the schools were rare. So I learned online. I did online classes like the cultural training to give me more exposure. I did some short courses to give me more exposure. I did a UK qualification to give me exposure. You don't need to say all of that, but I'm just telling you some stuff. I started using this online learning to stay up to date with my, to be the best I could. From them, I learned how to do coding and got my certificates. And then I got my first job. And in that time, even though I was doing that, I continued to invest in myself by doing my master's or now coming to a job in the UK. Do not tell them the whole life story. Do not say, so I was born September 1983 in Birmingham City Hospital. I was born at 7/18. They don't care. They don't want to know your history. They've only got 20 minutes to interview you. Make it relevant, okay? What are your weaknesses? They love this question. I love this question. I always ask it. Come on, I know you all are not that perfect. So what are your weaknesses? How would you answer this? Okay, I tell you, The wrong answer is, I don't have no weaknesses. Don't say that in an interview. Everybody's got a weakness. Turn your weakness into a positive. Don't answer it, I don't have no weaknesses. It's like, oh, I can't do this. I'm so scared of spiders. I don't want to hold it. No, don't be freaky. Don't be weird, right? Be normal. So weakness is saying, you know what? A weakness is I work too much. Sometimes I don't manage my work because I love what I do and I carry on working and I don't watch my time, and sometimes I don't finish on time. So but I've learned how to do that. I've done some management courses and I make a list of things that I do and prioritize my work. You've made your weakness of working too much into a positive. So they think, you know what, this person works a lot. Yeah, but they know what to do. They're going to prioritize their list and do their list and go off it. So find a solution to it. Say, I'm working on it. Or if it was something else like, oh, not very, like, you know, my MS Office is not as great because it's to UK standards. So what I'm doing is I'm doing a UK qualification in Microsoft packages to help me with this. So you've identified a weakness, but you are trying to work on it, because the interviewer might say, you know what, don't worry about it. We've got an IT person here that will help you with it all. Don't worry about that, because they know you're trying, okay? So don't ever walk in and say, I don't have one. I have so many people saying that. I'm like, oh, okay, I know you got one. Because when you say you don't, and you go into a job, I had someone say, I don't have no weaknesses, I'm confident. Her first day of the job, she walked out. I ain't doing this care. I'm not looking after these people alone working. I'm like, I thought you had no weaknesses. You know, be like, so be careful what you say. Why should you get this job, guys? Why should I give you this job for? Why should I give you over somebody else?
I think maybe here, look at, because you've already done research on, based on what you just told us before, you've done research in this place before the interview. So look at like what they're looking for, and then talk about how you can be beneficial towards what it is they're looking for.
Absolutely. They have put out a job post on purpose. They are looking for a care manager, for example. I know I'm relating it to care, it's just because I can give you good answers in the fact that it's my industry. They're looking for a care manager. They've got 20 other people that you're going to interview, so why should you give you? I can say, okay, from what we discussed so far and looking at your reviews on your CQC website and my skills, I feel that I can really contribute into growing your business more and saving you money. British companies love you saving the money. I can save you money. You are spending too much money on training, and I know how I can eliminate that because I am a qualified trainer, and I know where to look for the right qualifications or how to put that process in it. You are looking for growth, and I have done this X, Y, and Z. That's your sales pitch to say what you have got, why you are better than the other candidates. I'm saying, look, I've noticed that you have from your report, you had clients that couldn't speak English. I've actually got Makaton training and BSL training, and I speak 4 languages. So even though you might not have somebody, I can speak the languages and I can be a translator for your company. If you don't have that stuff, you can say, I've already got some qualifications. I've got my first aid qualification. So, I've got my food handling qualifications. So I can go and hit the ground running with you guys. Like, I've got things in place already. So show them off the job spec why you should get it. What's your salary expectations, guys? You lot can definitely answer this now. What do you want from me? How much money you want from me? What's your salary?
You can give them the minimum wage that is associated to what the job they're offering.
Yes. Yeah, as long as it's not the minimum wage for the actual whole of England, because if you say like £25,000 job and you're like, I want the minimum wage, and they're thinking, yo, she's only 17, I'm giving her £6.81. You'll be like, oh crap, I said that. You just say, look, just say from exactly what I've said, like looking at the market average, and for the skilled worker visa, I need in the range of 25 to 30,000. That will be comfortable for me to live off, and also do the job to the best of my ability for you guys. That's it. And if they offer you 25, you can turn around and say, brilliant, I'm happy with that. Can we look at that after my probation? Remember that conversation. That's how you would jump into it. Never offer lower than the job rate because you will get it and you don't want it. Wrong answer is, I don't know, you tell me. Because I'm gonna say, oh, okay, I'm gonna give you £5 an hour then. You know, I'm gonna give you the minimum wage. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna put you on an apprenticeship and give you £4.30. They will do that, okay? Because you just gave them the control. Where do you see yourself in 5 years' time? How would you answer that? Where do you see yourself in 5 years' time? Love that question they do. Wrong answer is in your position on the other side of the desk, because that means that you're going to get them sacked. You're going to look to get them sacked. Don't say that to them, because they think, well, where am I going to be then? You know what I mean? Like, so don't say that. Just say, be passionate about the industry. Talk about, you know, because Olivia said about the organization structure. Try and look online at the potential progression rate. So look, you know what, coming in as a support worker, I'm hoping that I can show you my capabilities, skills, and move up to a senior carer, and to learn to manage and lead your team. From that, I would look to go as a care manager. From a care manager, I'm looking to show you what I can do for your care homes and run the care homes. And then I would love to be a registered manager for the growth that I'm going to bring into your business. I'm going to grow your business, that I'll bring you more care homes, that I will be a registered manager for one of your company, one of your homes, and I'm going to run it to compliance standards to CQC, something like that. Okay. You've told them your progression. You're not just said, I want your job. They don't, they're the director. If you have their job, then, you know, there is no business. So be careful with that question. They would always ask you, do you have any questions? We'll go through this one if I get a bit of chance in the next one. Other questions as well. I think I might have a little bit of time to tell you quickly. Why did you leave your previous job?
Mama ameenda basi.
Yeah. Why is there a gap in your work history? They would definitely ask you that, because me and Harsha thoroughly look through things, because we have to see why there's a gap. Why did you apply for this position? How do you deal with pressures or stressful situations? Do you prefer working independently or as a team? Very popular question, guys. They want to see if you're a team player or can work on your own. So what did you, especially with COVID, they want to know, what did you do in the last year or 2 years to improve your knowledge? Because I know a lot of people lost their jobs. A lot of people are, you know, what do they do if they're not working? So these are the type of questions, guys. Look at it. If you're working independently or in a team, just say, you know what, I love working in a team. You learn and bounce off each other's and get each other's, you know, you work as a team and learn different skills. But I love working on my own initiative as well, because I've got a lot of initiative to do the job on my own as well. But I love the fact that I've got a team there just to fall back on, and they can rely on me if they need me for anything. Because that shows that you've got initiative to work on your own, but you would carry your team and work with the team. You're not going to argue with them. Very, very important question, okay? Why did you leave your previous company? Don't say, oh, I hate the manager. You done my head in, I walked off. Don't say that. Just say, you know what, there was no chance of progression for my job. And I feel like I've got a lot more skills and attributes. So when I saw your job, I could see the potential of growth in your company. I'm hoping that, you know, I can move this way, because they will see that you don't want to just do a 9 to 5 or a job and sit there and do nothing. Okay. Any questions about this, guys? Do you know where I'm coming from? Don't make it a negative, turn it around. That's my main thing. They would ask you, are you applying for other jobs? Don't lie to them and say no. Just say, I have applied for a few. Don't say I've applied for 100 jobs. So I've applied for a couple of jobs in the same region as your guys, but say I'm really interested in your one because you offer X, Y, and Z, and this is what I'm looking for. I love the fact that you're a new business. I love the fact that you're looking for people to try and move the business forward. Show them something that is why you've gone for it, because they would find out if you're playing for other jobs, because, you know, and they want to know. We're nosy. That's what it is. What kind of questions can you ask people? Not people, sorry, the interviewer, not just random people. What kind of questions can you ask? Because they will say to you, is there anything you want to ask me? You are going to ask them questions. Do not say no. You are going to ask them questions. So you can pull out you can pull out your book as well, even if you haven't written down, doesn't matter. Because if you pull out a book and they give you answer, write it down. Even if you wrote nothing on your page, just write it down to show that you are listening, okay? So what would you ask?
Can you ask them about what it is they're expecting of you in this role that they're giving you?
Yeah, what do you think of the role? Yeah, ask about role for that you can ask for a typical day. What does a typical day for me look like in this role? Brilliant question. Any other questions you would ask? Okay, so what I'll do is I'll tell you some. Ask them, what do you like about working for this company? Don't if he's a director, don't ask them that question, okay? If he's a manager, just say, so what do you like about this? Let them talk. They asked you at the beginning, tell me a bit about yourself. Now you tell me why you like this company. And trust me, they will say, oh, I love the fact that we go on coffee things. They talk more freely because they're comfortable. Always ask something like that. What do you personally like about, what's the main thing you like about this company? If you don't ask the first one, you can change it to the second one. Can you tell me about the kind of progression or supervision you would give to someone like me? Like, because you want to know that you're looked after by them. So they might say something like, you know what, we give you supervisions, we give you training, we look after you half day Fridays, you know, they will tell you what they will give to, because they want you. So they will tell you, that's where your psychological contract will come in. Because you're thinking, oh, they said this, I want to write it down. Because then when you come to your negotiations, you can say, remember when I asked you that question, you said to me, you'll give me half day Fridays. Does that still stand? Because you said that to me. They'll be like, oh crap, yes, it does. Good question for your negotiations, okay? Like Mary said, typical day in this role. How do you grow your staff professionally? Brilliant question, because they know you want growth. You don't want to stay at your role. You're looking for progression. How are they going to make you? And they will tell you what they offer. We offer training. We do this, we do that. Nice question to ask. What happens after this? Like, you know, I've done my interview now. What are the next steps? They might say to you, you know what, we've got a couple of more people to interview and we're interviewing next Monday. So you'll hear from us the following Tuesday. So that way in your head, you know, you're either going to get a yes or no in a week. Otherwise, you'll sit there anxiously waiting. And that's the worst feeling in the world. And remember, we said, don't be a beg. You don't want to call them like, did I get the interview? Did I get the interview? At least you know, next Tuesday, Wednesday, you'll hear something. If you don't hear anything, potentially you haven't got it, but you can chase it up if you want next Wednesday saying, oh, I just want to know, like, did I get, like, what was the outcome? And they will be happy to answer it. Okay, any questions on that? I'm hoping these are helping you in some way. You've got, you know, you're becoming more confident in it. I'm sorry, there's so much to go through in 2 hours. I just didn't want to miss everything or anything off. And that's why I had to move some stuff over on Friday, because I feel like it's all imperative for you guys to know. Last thing I'm going to briefly go over is a cover letter. I'm actually going to show you some snapshots of my cover letter, and I've always got jobs from them. So you're very, very lucky. Get some of my ones. I didn't want to use ones off the computer. I thought I'll use something that I know works. So this is real things. So you all know what a covering letter is, I take it? Yes or no? Do you want to tell me what it is? And what should you include in a covering letter? Okay, so a covering letter is a document you send with your CV. So you have your CV, remember, 1 to 2 pages, and then your covering letter it's like your front cover. Harsha showed you a front cover yesterday of a picture and his name about 5 times and the address. That's not a cover letter. That was his cover letter. That was not a cover letter. A cover letter is going to be for you to tell them about your skills and experience and why you are fit for that particular role. Your cover letter does need to be unique. You would alter stuff. Always match it to the job description. So grab that job description for the job and think, okay, oh, they never even asked me about finances. I need to take that out my cover letter. So match it, say, you know, if they say something like peg feeding, you need to peg feed support your clients. Just say, look, I've done training in peg feeding and I have actually used this skill in my current job working in the hospital. I have looked after an elderly person that needed to be peg fed. I know how to install it correctly and respectfully and dignify them. So use all these care words, you know, dignified, respect, person-centered, person-led. Okay, use the right terminology for the industry you're going into. Okay. These are a few things that you need to cover in a cover letter. Have the hiring manager's name, if you have it. If you don't have it, don't worry. Title of the role. Answer any questions they have asked you in the job advert. If they say in the job advert, we are looking for a male worker that is a driver, you can say in the CV, put driving license full, but in your cover letter, you can say, I am a male worker. They might know that. I say I'm a male worker and I drive. I've got a full driving license that I can use legally in the UK with no points on it. And I have business insurance. Just throw a little bit extra in it because you've answered the question. They think, okay, they've answered it. We need to give them a job. Like, they're answering my questions. That's what we wanted. They have to. Why you're suitable for the job. Why you should get this job. That is your selling point because they don't know you. We don't put pictures, we don't put your nationality, we don't put anything about you. That's your selling point. So they're going off this CV thinking, you know what? She's given me a good CV and the cover letter, she just told me why I need to hire her and I want to hire her. Or I want to interview her. I'm really intrigued. I want to see how she looks and how is this the same person? Because sometimes you can get your cover letter written by somebody else and when you come to the interview, it's not the same person. Put your name on it, please, at the end. Or I always put my mobile number underneath my name. Kind regards, Sophia Sam, and then my mobile number, just in case they haven't got time to look at your CV again, they can just grab it off the front cover, okay? Because you're abroad, put your email address if you want, because they might not call you, they might email you instead. Don't put everything, just one thing, either your email or your contact number. I know writing covering letters is a pain in the backside. You'll have to alter it every time, especially if you're applying for hundreds of jobs and you have to do applications. It might seem like a chore, but hiring managers rely on them heavily to give you that interview or even just the application or a phone interview. You need to make sure that every cover letter has the same body. It's never going to change, guys. A beginning, a middle, and an end, okay? The beginning is your introduction of like a bit about what you can offer them. The middle is how you're going to meet the job description and the job skills they said. And the end is add it on a positive note. You are the dog's, you know, I would say you are the dog's bollocks. You are the best. And, you know, don't say that, but you have to do more positive like that. And we're waiting for the interviews. End it on a positive note that you get them wanting more. Your page should not be longer than 1 page. If you're going for a more senior role, 1.5 pages is more than enough. Do not do more than that. That's too much as well. Your last line, you don't want to give them everything in the cover letter. You want to give them enough to say, I want to interview, I want to know more about this person. She's given me a brilliant CV, a brilliant cover letter. Okay. Customize your heading. You know, when you start off, customize it. So if you're applying for a support worker role, write regarding support worker role. If you're applying for an engineer role, write regarding engineering role, because that is more personalized, and use the same format. If you wrote engineering in the middle of anything, make sure you change it. Do not apply for a support worker job. And when I'm reading your reference, your cover letter is saying engineering, I'll be like, well, they just copied and pasted. So be very careful with it. Use the appropriate greeting as well. So keep your cover letter at the top regarding REs regarding position for senior care worker, Asmara's Healthcare. Just say something like that. It's nice to put the company name if you want. You don't need to. I've just done it to make it more personal. Opening statement, to whom it may concern, or dear hiring manager, or dear, you know, Mr. Sam, I'm actively seeking a job within the industry which is demanding, fast-paced, multitasking environment. I have gained enough experience and skills working with different organizations to apply for a challenging opportunity with a highly reputable organization, and I would like to continue my growth within your company. So I've told them, I am the dog's bollocks, really. I want growth. Your company is going to give me what I want. You can have something like that. Middle things, you can write something like, from reading your job post, I know I have the right skills and attributes to become a great worker for your company. And then go into it. Go into some of the, don't do every single job description. Meet the mandatory requirements of the job spec. Or you can start off with, throughout my career, I have demonstrated for my employees an exceptional facility for meeting organization objectives and demands. Look how many big words I'm throwing in there. Thesaurus, but don't make sure it makes sense, okay? In addition to my skills, and then go on to it, okay? Ending. This cover letter is not exhaustive of all the skills and attributes I can bring to your company, and I would appreciate if you took the time to read my CV, write the full word though, and would like it if you would give me the opportunity to shine through an interview, as I feel I will be a great asset to your organization. I look forward to hearing from you soon. That's it. Like, just try to keep it like that. You need me. I want to interview with you. I want to shine. I want to shine in the interview. Don't go to the interview and just sit there quietly because you just lied. Be confident then, because I'm telling you now, using certain positive words in your cover letter and matching the job description, you will get an interview. What not to add? I'm just going to go through this quickly because I'm running out of time and all. Don't talk too much. Don't go on and on and on and on about something and just have a massive waste of space. Don't put down you got no skills. I don't have no, how many CVs me and Harsh have seen? I don't have no skills in sport working, but I want a sport working job. You're not going to get it. Don't put a negative into your CV covering letter anywhere. Don't talk about money. Don't make it all about me. Me. Tell them what you're going to do for the company and how you can meet their requirements. Too much information is stressful. We haven't got time for that, especially if you're looking at hundreds of CVs a week and cover letters. Don't be negative. Stop the lies. Don't lie, because we can see that from your CV. If you said I've got 3 years experience in sport work and I look at your CV and you got nothing, you lied. What's the truth? So don't be conflicting to the CV you sent. And don't have conflicting information. Okay? Any questions, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for someone like me, I don't know about the rest, but I'm sure they're the same. Personally, I don't have any experience in the care job. That's why I'm doing a course right now, so that when I apply, I have care work. And the only thing I have now is the course that I'm undertaking. Can be my selling point when I'm writing either CV or a cover letter.
Yeah, so there's loads of things you can do in that clear. First of all, you remember now the care visa, just say you're going on this care visa, and I'm going back to it. Thousands of people applying for it. You've got such a good platform at this moment. You're doing this cultural training, you can put that in it. Joseph has said, I think 3 times as well through the weeks, his team is working around the clock to get voluntary work, charity work. Take that opportunity. Any short courses you can do, we offer some, Joseph offers some, other companies offer courses. Try and make them UK standards, CPD. Joseph can go through all this with you as well. I'm not saying spend all your money on courses, but if you really want to come to the UK, you need to spend something. Setting up a business, Joseph, I can confirm, we don't want to spend the money, but we have to spend some money to get the resources to better our future. And, we spend hundreds of pounds on memberships and insurances, but we get to the end stage with it. So you need to invest some money and time into growing your skills and experience and exposure and doing it all right. Because if you sent me a CV now and he said, I've got no skills or experience, I'll be like, but that person's got like 10 years and they've got this qualification and they've visited the UK, so they know about it. So you might not get against them. But if you're in another background as well, like if you're from office administrating or got family members that you need to look after, you can turn around and say, look, I'm from an office background. I know how to do report writing. I worked in an office, link it. I've done report writing in detail and know how to meet the compliancy of a company. So link your back work as well as showing that you are doing voluntary work. Harsha said it yesterday, by doing voluntary work as well shows that you're doing something to try and get your dream jobs.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Does something like a caregiving thing you did like a few years ago still, can it assist you on such a case? Maybe you took care of someone who was who was ill and she was elderly, and they gave you a recommendation letter. Would that still count? Because probably because of the years and you've not done it again, will that be helpful,
That's
or
fine.
do I need to include it or not?
You can, anything you've done with care, just include. If you're going for a care job, include it. If you've come out of it for a reason, say why you come out of it. If you come out of it, just say, look, because I wasn't getting paid enough for that, I needed to support my family. I had to get a full-time job, but now I'm in a position that I want to go back into it because I've looked after my family. Make it a positive why you come out of it. It might not be the real reason, but just say, I've done it a lot of times. Like if I come out of care and I want to go into office and say, look, get the right job around or fit around my
Yeah, personally, I'm gaining a lot in this process. And at the end of it, I believe that all of us will be at an advantage end to, crossing over to the UK and providing the care that we need. The essence of this is to make us better during the interviews, to make us better as we are presenting ourselves for, for applications, numerous applications that are going to come, that we beat everybody else that will be competing. So thank you so much. And let's meet again tomorrow, same time, same place, same venue.
With tomorrow's session on Fridays, you lot have got it. Some of you are brilliant, but some of you need to come here at 8 o'clock because the UK will carry on with the training or jobs. If you're late for a job, after 3 times, you will get sacked in the UK. So you got 2 days to start trying to come up a bit earlier. Some of you guys, I know it might be difficult, but try your best because we're going to start the session earlier so that we can, it's not fair on the people that are waiting 10 minutes or so. So get into a habit because the UK would not tolerate lateness at all. I think Harsha can back me up on that. I've got in trouble so many times in jobs. So tomorrow we'll start. I'll give you 1 minute, 60 seconds to try and get here, unless I'm late, which I shouldn't be.
And just in addition to that, let me express my apologies to the person who didn't get clear information and who thought that the training is weekly. I would love to. I think I was getting to work at that time. I didn't get it clearly, but apologies to that effect. But again, having said that, I would like all of us to keep on, checking with the office. Our numbers are always open, our email addresses are always open. Kindly keep on checking because we give accurate information every single time. So let's keep with the pace because you might end up missing an important thing, then we start blaming each other. I would want us to move towards that direction. So thank you so much and be blessed.
Thank you.
See you tomorrow, everybody.
Bye.